Yo, Tom, Morgan, what's going on, dudes? Bo, what's up, man? I read your post about running on 12 hours sleep for the last 4 days, and I'm pretty much doing the same thing. My wife went out of town for a bachelor party for 4 days, and I had the two girls solo. So I had 2-year-old and a 6-month-old, uh, Mr. Mom. It's pretty hardcore, especially when they both like need something simultaneously. Really do something with the other one. Like I'm holding the baby, and then the other one's going. That was my first real solo mission, but pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. Jay, what's up, dude? Back to the grind. I'm uh I'm trying to get some of these old gliders cleaned up. I had probably one of the worst painting and clear coating days I've had in about 10 years this past week. Um, but my clear coat, it was so damn hot, like I couldn't reduce it enough. I couldn't retard it enough. I couldn't do anything. It was like I was gonna get texture regardless. But so I'm trying to wet sand these, trying to clean them up a little bit. But it was uh, it was a painful couple days of coatings. So here we are. I'm trying to get these straightened out, which is not that hard to do. It's more annoying than anything. After you think you're done, you're really not done. But that's what you get with freakish southern temperatures. Uh, Rich, I don't know if they're going or not. I never posted them. Like I put them on the website, but I never told anybody they were going up, and people would just sprinkle through and like grab one or two or whatever. Uh, but I still haven't uh, said anything about them, uh, which I think is kind of fun. Uh, I think there's last time I think I looked this morning and there was uh, 3 left, I believe. 3, but I'll probably. Uh, there's some guys I know that. Yeah, sorry, Jeremy. I didn't tell anybody really. I was actually. Um, what had happened was I was on there trying to like nothing was showing up on my website. Everything I'd update would not show up. Like everything was disappearing. So I was on there dicking around with it, and somebody got on there and bought one. And I was like, well, screw it. I'll just leave them up here. Um, but I wasn't really intending for them to go up right then. I was just the only way I could, because they weren't showing up on my end, but I guess you could see them uh, on other people's computers or whatever. I don't know. But so rather than deal with that, I just left them. I just left them. Jeremy, I can't sell the messed up ones. It's got to stay with me. I don't want my bullshit out there floating around in the world. That's a no-no. It's a no-no, dude. No, Travis. I actually decided to remove the hooks for these today, so I don't get gouged. But it's really a shame that Bees wanted to dick up on me because the color was actually really cool. Uh, it's all color shift. You can see it turn to purple to green to blue. But this one gets to stay with me. Bo, do you what happened, dude? You have second thoughts, or you like this color better? Yeah, that one's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Wish you could. You make me feel guilty. Uh, I didn't want to make you feel guilty. It just hurts my soul when I see them go up for sale. I'm like, damn, don't sell my damn bait. Sell some other bullshit. Sell bullshit. There's a million of those. But I actually need these for. I need the because the only ones I really have I don't want to throw because they're like my testers, um, and I need something that I don't care if I lose. You know what I mean? Like that I can just throw without thinking, damn, I'm never going to get this back. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It looks way different in person because when you turn it, well, the cool part about it, I will explain, um, uh, is that when you have the green, I've got a green shoulder here and the green color shift. So then it looks kind of like a, I don't know, turquoisey green. But when it color shifts to purple, the green turns to copper. But unfortunately, nobody will get to grace their eyes on this one because Jay Priest over here calling you out, Bo. He said, I've seen two for sale secondhand. One was from Bo. Cryface. uh, uh, but I'll have fun. I'll have fun slinging this thing around. Yeah, that's exactly right, Jeremy. If you're scared to throw something, you're never gonna fish it right. So I need. That's how I was with like Bagley's and stuff. Like I never had enough because I never felt like comfortable enough that I had. Because I mean, if you think about it, if you're throwing at trees or whatever all day, and you're throwing a 40-year-old Bagley, dude, you could break 4 bills, 5 bills off of them pretty easy. So, however long it took you to get 5 of those things at a reasonable price, um, is, it's a little bit of a time suck. So if you it takes years of buying and collecting to have enough for me to like feel comfortable enough to uh, throw them for fun. You know what I mean? Like everybody's got those baits. They're like, oh, this is my like. I only throw this during tournaments or whatever, and you know, I don't like those baits. I just like having a bunch of what I want to throw. Um, so, uh, hey, Bo, are you still there? Did they have that the high school tournament on Pickwick, the Float Fest? I thought that was a good name. Oh, somebody was asking, is this a Nate? I think yours went unnoticed. Nate, I didn't know you were into the buying and selling. I never see you post stuff for sale. Yeah, that's the way you got to be. If you're scared to throw it, it's just not. It's not a good way to fish. Float fish like dead fish, yes. Where did the mini buffer question go? Who was that? Who was that? Is that a little buffer? Yes, Jeremy. This is a Dremel Versa. I got a little foam pad on the bottom. That's what I buff with. Works awesome. Jeremy, you didn't hear me tell the story about buffing a treble hook in my hand? I pride myself in never having gotten a hook fishing in my hand, and I was pretty proud of that. And I was trying to get out of here one day. I think I might have actually been going fishing, and I was trying to get some hooks on a bait Jimmy Eder sent me. I don't have it here anymore, but he had sent me a bait to throw, and actually it was like this. I can get the bait. Um, so I had a brand new set of Gamakatsu Magic Eye round bends, such as this, and there was where he had glued the bill in. There was like a fingerprint. I was like, oh, I can buff that off. So I thought I was just going to do this and buff it off, dude. I turned the bait like this, and that hook caught that corner, and it threw that treble into here and into here. So I was pinned. And when it happened, I was like, oh boy, you fucked up. And I was like, this is going to be bad. The bad thing was the hooks were in here. This was in my hand. The bait was in my hand, and this was still spinning. So it was going, and the trebles were just going. I said, God Almighty, please stop! And I couldn't, because I was trying to like stop the thing from moving with my other hand, and it was like hanging, spinning, and I was trying to like, I didn't know, like I was just trying to get it to stop. So I finally like was able to grab this and make it quit spinning, and then I hit the button. I was like, all right, let's look at the damage. And I got lucky because the thing had wallowed so bad, like it had made a giant hole. So I didn't have like pulling the hooks out wasn't hard. They were past the barb, like they were into the bend. Um, but they had like spun around in there so much I could just like pull them out like needles. And but it wasn't a high point in my career. That is for certain. Um, that is for certain. But I learned a very valuable lesson about doing dumb stuff. Never buff a bait with treble hooks on it. Yeah, it was not fun. Not fun. Pretty stupid. Lesson learned. It was the national dumbass move hell, it could be the damn year. It was really dumb. I should have known because I wasn't watching the hooks. I was just watching where I had this little thing, and it bit me. It bit me. That's for damn sure. So, like I said, lesson learned. Lesson learned. I gotta buff a lot of these out my spraying in that heat. I didn't get a good gloss retention. Luckily, I can fix that. Um, luckily, I can fix that. Now it's ready to go. But honestly, after that, after having dealing with that, not the hooks, the all my paint issues in the heat, I might have to go to night painting so I don't have to deal with that shit anymore. Because I was trying to paint and clear coat it like in the afternoon, and literally the whole time I'm in there, like sweat is like pouring down my face into my mask, and it's not good for. It's not fun to paint like that. It's not. The material doesn't like it. Like nothing about it is good. So I might just put the night shift back on duty and come in here and go home and put the kids to sleep and then come back at night. And that's what I used to do in Austin because it was so damn hot in Austin. I'd just go up there and paint till like 2 in the morning. Um, how was your lake 78 degrees? Did you go swimming? Water temp was 89 this week, and I think I'm going to like to break and go creek fishing for a few weeks. Jeremy, I'd do it. What can you catch in the creek? What lives in the creeks? Man, these things shine up good. Greenhead, spots, and smallies. Would a creek not be like a mosquito lair to where you get like carried away right now? Water temperature in Connecticut was 79. Damn, dude. I bet the water temp is I don't know what it is right now because I don't even carry a damn depth finder anymore. But hell, I bet it's a high 90s, 93. I think that's the highest I've ever seen it. I flipped the most beautiful four. Actually, it's probably 4.5. Um, my buddy came down and he's like, "I hear your fish live in dirt all year." I'm like, yeah, I mean, for the most part. He's like, "I want to see that." I was like, "All right." So we were fishing in like 1.5 foot of water and flipping like reeds and hyacinths and stuff. And I caught one that was pushing 5, but it was like the funny thing was you could go out to the river and you could catch them like on the riverbank or in a creek mouth or something, and they looked kind of like shitty. You know what I mean? Like they looked kind of beat up and like summertime fish where they were kind of skinny and like had some cuts and bruises and bangs on them, and not great looking fish. And we went up there in 1.5 foot of water that was 100 degrees, and flipped one up, and it was like a good one, and it looked like a pre-spawn fish from like February, dude. It was like blown up, fat, big, wide back, just like not a spot on it, beautiful colors. He's like, "What's this thing doing up here?" I don't know, man. It's just where they like living. Oh, that makes it nice. I know if I went to a creek down here, I would have probably 30 different strains of malaria from all the damn mosquito bites. I don't know if I stink or what, but bugs typically don't care for me, um, which I'm not complaining about. But. Um, Kyle, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, we got damn pterodactyls down here that are disguised as mosquitoes. Um, would a multiple day event like the Elite Series be won on the Mobile Delta? How the Sabine was won by the Christie? Yes, typically. Well, it depends on what time of year. Um, but typically, the farther north you go, the bigger the fish get. Um, but if you fished on, if it were like a Major League Fishing style event where you catch as many as possible, um, the lower end, aka the causeway, is where the numbers are, like vastly greater numbers. Um, so that's where that type of event would probably be won, which I would love to see. Like I don't, like I said, y'all know I don't give a rat's ass about Major League Fishing, but I would love to see them come and fish on the lower end, like in the fall, to where you'd see like Jacob Wheeler catch 120, or like like something absurd. Um, and I'd like to just see where they fish. You know what I mean? Like how a pro would do down here. But Yeah, they would. I don't know why they don't get it. I think the Sabine is probably a. I don't know. Um, my dad had an uncle who was bitten by mosquitoes so bad that it made him sick and hospitalized. After he survived, that mosquito would land on him and then just fly off and never bite him. That's pretty interesting. I wonder if the mosquitoes put some like DNA in him that said, "We tried to kill this man and he survived. Do not fuck with him. He gets a pass for life." I've never heard that. I've never heard anybody tell. That's like a. That's got to be what happens to like those natives in like the Amazon. You know what I mean? Like they get bit and stung so much by stuff. Like they're just naturally immune to like anything. I've been into that. Um, like typically, I watch fishing on YouTube when I'm like doing shit like this or talk to y'all. But I've been on a big Joe Rogan kick, listening to all his guests, and I was listening to a guy talk about the Amazon and like stuff they found down there and what's not been seen down there and all this uh, alien stuff. It's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. 3 to 4 pounds, damn, dude. Kyle, that's where the meat's at, but it's all posted and shit, and they can't do that, right? Or it's too much gray area. Hey, that's what I've always heard was the my buddies down there tell me that the Louisiana side's the damn that all the weights would have doubled if they could have gone to the Louisiana side. We had a good discussion last week about what's it called, Katawachi. Where Van Dam won. Beautiful. Beautiful. I think you're ready to go. You're all polished up and pretty. Let's see what's up with this one. This one needs more. Yeah, that's what. Too much gray. That's a shame. And there's still there's not hardly any private water here. There's about 2 or 3 lakes way up the river that are considered private property, and there was like this court ruling that the people who own the land owned. I guess the way it read was that, typically the rule is if you can float a boat in it, like it's public water, if it's still if the tide affects the water, you can still go in it or fish it or whatever. It's private. But this place, I think the court ruling said back in I think it was in the late 80s, early 90s, it said that the people owned the water that went underneath the ditch going in. So if you were in a boat, you were technically going through this ditch that was in private waters because they owned the water underneath. I mean, they own the land underneath the water. Which people still go in there. I don't think that's... Yeah, that's it. Nautical waterway. The water is public, but the ground under is private. That's right. And so those people that own that property, they still try to keep people out of there. But I don't know anybody that's ever gotten a ticket or anything. But that would be a dream. Like if I was like a bazillionaire, I would own one of those lakes, just because I think it would be the coolest thing ever to own a oxbow lake in the middle of the Delta. I think there's a couple that are legit private, like they've got gates on them. I'd like to know how good they are. You know what I mean? Like I'd like to know what the potential of an oxbow down here is that doesn't get fishing pressure. There's a few creeks here that run through high-end horse farms and are straight assholes about it if you can float them in a yak, but will get you for trespassing if you try to wade it. That's interesting. Jay's Pond's been 94 degrees lately, but it would actually be hotter, but we're getting afternoon storms and keep it leveled off. Most of the ones I think here that are private bow, I think they're like year-round oxbows that always have they would be accessible 12 months out of the year for the most part, unless it was really low, and they don't ever dry up. Maybe the ditches going into them would dry up, but They would have their own fish population that never died or like went in and out. They would be kind of trapped in there. Uh, but it would be. Where do you fish? You fish Pickwick, Bo? Did you learn anything when the elites came this last time? And do you like national tournaments, which, having Pickwick show up on your national, or having a national tournament show up at Pickwick is no new thing, but I'm guessing if you fish there all the time, probably the less publicity a place could get, the better for a guy that wants to fish out there for fun all the time. That's what was so crazy, Bo. Is I heard what Wheeler's number one right now though, right? Besides Gunnersville. Oh, no grass. See, I was thinking there was grass on Pickwick this year. There's a place down here, Kyle, eelgrass. You know what's weird, Bo? Is that I typically fish Gunnersville. I always fish that. I didn't this past year, but for a good, 5-6 years in a row, we always fish that snag proof tournament at Gunnersville, and everybody bitched about the eelgrass. Like this shit's everywhere. It's taking over. It sucks. It's choking out all the other grass. Fish don't like it. Blah 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 blah. But down here, eelgrass is like magic. Like you get past all the coontail, all the milfoil, all that shit. Like you find some eelgrass, you're like you you stick around. Um, and it's interesting on like those reservoirs or whatever you want to call them that the fish typically don't seem to. I don't know if it's they don't gravitate towards them or if it's they don't prefer it or what, but yeah, the eelgrass down here is money. So one spot I want to buff out. Sean, what's up, dude? You giving me views on Insta and YouTube? I'm trying to get some glides. Jeremy, our eelgrass actually mats up somehow. Um, I don't say it mats up, but you can look at the eelgrass beds when you're going across the causeway down here, and it looks like a rug. Like I don't know what grows on it, but it's got these little. It looks like a rug on the ground. Um, but it has this weird matte effect to it. I don't know why. I wish we had hydrilla. We don't have much hydrilla. We get milfoil, we get coontail. Um, we get this really shitty grass called widgeon grass, and it looks like Spanish moss was growing off the bottom. It's really weird. What's racist, Dan? What did I say? Jay, he claims Tennessee River. He fishes them all. Coontail. Good old coontail. Hell, I'll take it over what we had before, which was nothing. So I don't hate coontail, but it's beggars can't be choosers. So take what we get. Take what we can get. Yeah, but what was that tournament they had at Gunnersville a couple weeks ago? That like it was like 40 bags, like 40th place was like 18 pounds. I haven't seen those kind of weights up there in years. That was uh, that was pretty awesome to see. Was that an ABT? It might go back to the old days where you go up there and 23 pounds won't even get you a handshake. I think I'm going to try and go. Amy and I talked about it going to Gunnersville this for my birthday into September, um, and I will be throwing this son of a buck. I'll probably be frogging, but I want to fish this thing around some grass on a real lake and see what I can do. See what I can do. What y'all have? High water or something that killed it? Is there a flood? Oh yeah, somebody. Uh, Josh Heron asked me to go to the gathering with him. He's going to both of them. He asked me to go with him. We were going to share a booth. Hella. Correct. Polishing them out, making them look all pretty. Hello, my sweet. Amy, you sold 2 shirts today to Bop. They're already up. I just haven't posted them. I have not posted them. These dudes always get first shot. Mike Gooding, what's up? Hella, you rip any bass this past weekend? Oh, I saw a great quote, and it really made me think about Mr. Randy Blockett. Hella, you'll probably appreciate this. Let me see if I can find this kid's quote. It was on a Whistling Diesel post. If any of you guys, Amy, the swim baits are. I didn't tell anybody about them though, but they almost. I think I've got 2 left. But if y'all are familiar with Whistling Diesel, he's a little YouTube dude that just is very destructive, and he has a lot of people that hate him because he'll take like nice new things and kill them. But anyway, the quote was, the kid asked on the page, how can I be successful like you? And the dude responded, some other dude responded, embrace the haters, fill their hearts with hatred, and watch as they give you more attention than any fan ever could. And it's 100% the truth. I read that and I was like, damn, this guy's wise. Very wise. But it's funny because there's so many more people that would rather blast on their Facebook page that this guy's an idiot more than they would post this guy's good. You know what I mean? That I like what this dude's doing. Like the people with the hatred down deep in their soul, like he said, embrace the hate. Yeah, I mean that's 100% the Blockett model. So hella, all of us, you know, dudes out there still doing our thing. Embrace the hate. Hella, how do you make people hate you more? You got it, Rich. He must have read that comment a couple years ago. I think it was the RMMC tournament last month, like 36-30. Where was that at, Jay? Sean, how do I make you hate me? This love shit is so like 5 years ago, dude. Love is not cool anymore. Sean, Hella said you've made him suck more, not less, since he discovered your channel. Jay, is it me or am I crazy, or have the Florida weights in the summer been climbing? Like something seems like it's changed down in Florida where guys have figured out, is it live scope that guys have figured out how to catch giant bags in the summertime? Has it always been like that? Sean, you're probably right, but what fun would that be? Sean, what have you tried from a YouTube recommendation that actually you were like, damn, this actually worked? Or not just Sean, anybody for that matter. I'm trying to think. Nothing's really coming to my mind. Nothing's really popping up. I need a Q-tip. Maybe this will work. What the hell? Eric and your Junebug collab. Using the Mega, I hope it's Megabass and not Monster. I need some higher grit sand. 1,000, 1,200. South Jersey, I don't think the Cinco has made shitty anglers believe they know how to fish. I think the A-Rig did. I think the A-Rig certainly did. I think a guy that lives and dies by the Cinco is just always, you know, he's never, that guy is never, I think he's always going to have his little windows where he shines. He's not going to be the guy that's like, I don't feel like, he's probably the dude that's always got a limit. I think the chatterbait's also done that. Because which ones? Those? No, these are the same as these. All right, got some balls. Here's my handprints. I think the internet has made shitty anglers think they know what they're talking about. Actually, I take that back. Not that they know what well, kind of, yeah. I think you've got a huge population of people that just watches a bunch of YouTube videos and read some magazines back in the day, and then, like, you know, they get and talk, and then they just regurgitate all the other bullshit that people have said that sounds like a good answer. Whether they have real life experience in that or not is questionable. But Kyle, that's 100% the truth. Is like, that's the thing about it, is like, I'm nowhere near a pro, but I've fished a lot and I fished a lot of tournaments and shit. And I know there's a word that begins with a P that for all of these guys to do what they do, they have, that is like number one, and that is pattern. And I know that I've got patterns, and it's like clockwork. Certain times a year, you know, you can do whatever the pattern is, and you can probably win. And I know, if you're like, I know the level I'm at and how much of that shit I've got. I could only imagine a guy that fishes for a living, or like, you know, under that, how much like real, like legit, like very specific patterns that those guys could do. or have in their brain that never gets talked about. Um, for instance, I would never talk about this. I used to never talk about this. Um, but on Lake Tuscaloosa, in I think it was when I was in college. It was in April. I think it was in April. But anyway, I was up there and it's really clear. It's like a Ozark kind of lake where it's deep, clear, rocky. Um, Not a lot of cover in it. Uh, and I found this pattern that I've never heard anybody mention. Maybe they have, but I've never heard anybody talk about it. But this is the kind of thing that, like, if there's got to be a million of these out there that all these pros have. Um, and that is in the spring where you go up and you like could probably see fish on bed, like the water's clear enough, but for whatever reason you don't see them and they should be up there. Um, I was running to the back, like if you have a big main pocket, creek, whatever, and you got all these little offshooting pockets off of them. I was running into those little offshoot pockets off the side, and I was looking for fish, and I never like I didn't see anything. I was like, this is weird. So what I did was I got in the middle of the pocket, and if you went straight to the end of the pocket to where it was deep in the middle, and then it would come up in the very ass end of it, and you could see the bottom right there. Well, if you would get on that drop to where you couldn't see the bottom anymore, and I was throwing a shaky head, and I would just get in the middle of the creek and throw to that dark spot where it fell off. It was like insane the amount of fish I caught doing that. And if you went and looked at the bank, you would say there's, and even like fishing like secondary points, fishing like all main type of stuff. Dude, I had that pattern unlocked the entire like 2/3 of the lake. Like you could run every pocket and run to one of those to the back end of it and throw a bait and get bit. It was like almost immediate too. And and dude, but I don't live up there anymore, and I don't plan on going up there anymore and fishing. But it was really, really, really amazing when it was happening. But it's always been in my head that if I like have to go somewhere that time of year, that's something that I would probably remember. Um, but like the stuff where I don't fish anymore, or the stuff where I, fish still, yeah, like why would I give that up? Yeah, South Jersey. I think to like the very casual bass fishermen, that's all. Every they don't take in enough of it for them to realize that. They see a video on Wired to Fish and it's new. They didn't see the 30 other ones over the last 20 years that said the exact same thing. Um, so I think it's the same concept as me saying, or a company ripping off like one of my paint jobs. So they take a Tacklecraft paint job, put it on a production bait, send it out there, and now, you know, everybody that walks through a store sees that paint job on a whatever bait, and they're like, "Oh, that looks awesome." They don't. Nobody knows that it's mine that got ripped off. They just see it as whoever company's paint job. Well, then say they stumble on my page, and they're like, "Oh, you ripped off so and so." Wrong answer. The guys that like take in like as much fishing stuff as they can, whether it's like, baits, tackle, techniques, whatever. Eventually, once you take in all of it, you realize that like you're not hearing anything anymore. You know what I mean? It's like all like everybody's it's like this like secret society where they're all like, all right, we're gonna talk within this circular little ring of information, and we're just gonna keep flushing this toilet, and but we're never gonna get outside of that. I don't know what the deal with that was, Kyle, but they just like and they were right in the middle too. Like they weren't on the corners, or they weren't like they were right in the middle. Um, but I don't know what the deal with those fish were, why they were there. Um, it was very interesting. Sean, no, there's not. Um, but if you like, I hate to beat on Van Dam, which doesn't matter to him, but like he's the best at it. He's the best at saying the same thing he's been saying for 25, 30 years, and like regurgitating it kind of different, but all the same thing. Bo, that's all I wear, dude. I've got 2 pair of AFCOs and like 10 pairs of jorts. We had a my wife's stepdad. He had a retirement party yesterday afternoon. Said, "Can I wear jorts?" She said, "Yeah, why not? We're going to the bluegill." Like, oh, perfect. So these are actually my dress jorts. If you want to be, these only have these are still pretty decent shape. The pockets ripped out, but it's a whole lot of wallet putting in. But I've got some relics at home, dude. Like they belong in the Smithsonian as could quite possibly the greatest jorts ever been worn. I had to quit wearing them because I was getting ridiculed for them being nothing but rags. And I honestly had to quit wearing them because my jibs might hang out because they had rips like all the way up to like the crotch area. Um, but Bo, these are probably from the 90s, dude. And I say that because I'm basically the same size now, give or take a few pounds, that I was in middle school. So a lot of these shorts that have been transferred over, these long pants that have been transferred into shorts, are possibly from the 90s. Because that's all I did was just go over to my parents' house and pull out my raggedy ass jeans out of my closet from when I was a kid and cut them off. And the real relics that I don't wear much anymore but I don't know if it was popular where you guys are from. But the thing down here when I was a kid was cut off khakis. Like nobody wore jorts hardly. It was cut off khakis, uh, and I had a ton of those. I haven't blown the crotch out of any hardly lately. I never blow the crotch out of jeans. I blow them out of like regular like cotton pants. But mine, the knees always blow out in mine. Uh, no blowy jokes. Insert spending time on your knees joke. Only time I see Lotzco play down here is January, February on a wintertime offshore trip. Everybody then forms with offshore. Interesting. Payco jeans? Payco. No. I don't know that I've ever even heard of them. I know Jinkos. The khakis with the zip off pants or shorts. No, I never had the khakis. I had some North Face pants that did that. Paco jeans. No, never heard of them. I don't own any cargos. I can't get down with the length of the cargos. I always feel like they're I don't know, they just never felt right. Super baggy with huge pockets. Was it kind of like a Jinko? Kyle, you got here for the good stuff. We're talking about activewear. Paco was at the old winter stores. They had Mexican flag looking logo. Boss jeans. Nah, I don't remember any of these jeans. I think it's because I've been wearing Levi's since I was like 6. I went from Oshkosh Bagosh to Levi's. Uh, Amy gives me shit because my favorite ones are like the washed out, pretty much like white denim, like the lightest denim you can get before it's white. Those are always my favorite. Uh, like I don't particularly care for this color; they're a little too dark for me. Y'all will typically see me in other jorts that are much lighter in shade. Those are my favorite. Um, I actually thought about looking for some white ones on eBay. Kyle, I never did Wranglers. They never fit right. They never fit right. They were the legs were too because I always wore the jean. I mean the like boots. I had like those like everybody wore those LL Bean rubber boots, and you could never fit like a Levi's. Like even their like regular jeans, you could like put them over a pair of boots, but Wranglers were like pencil legs. No, I do like I like that Wrangler does have the very light white washed out denim. I do like that. Maybe I should look for some Wranglers on eBay to jort out. 'Cause I don't own any. All I own is all right. I'll be honest. I went through a little phase where I bought some Abercrombie and Fitch jeans, but it was only a few. So yeah, you get all that old Levi's shit from like '60s. That stuff goes for a ton. It's real big in Japan. Um, the GS Wranglers. I'll have to look those up. I thought about actually. I got a pair of jorts that I was going to retire, and I thought about just listing them on eBay for like $500 and see if some like douche from LA, like some like Hollywood kid, would buy them. Uh, you know what I mean? Or like some like rich kid in New York would be like, "Oh my god, these are so dope." Uh, Sean, no, I never had to. I never had to. All literally, I'm the worst. I'm bad on clothes, dude. Like, you give me a pair of jeans, and then the legs, like the thighs and the knees, will be like pretty pretty worn out and like starting to fray like pretty soon. Um, but I'm trying to think. The big thing over in Austin for the real hipsters was to wear Carhartt coveralls with no shirt and Birkenstocks. That was pretty funny. There was these two groups of guys, or not two. There was these two guys that worked down by where I was, and they were like wannabe like custom carpenters, and they would always come down there with no shirt on, their Carhartt bibs, and their Birkenstocks, and like their little like round glasses, and they were trying to be like artists, but they were you could tell they were like poser artists because all their shit sucked, and those guys really make me laugh. Trying to impress Amy. Yeah, I was probably I was I don't know if Amy. No, Amy probably didn't catch me in my Abercrombie and Fitch stage. She probably missed it. Luckily, that was in college. I bet. Dude, it was really bad. Like, Abercrombie and Fitch used to be the shit, and you could walk into the mall and tell that there was an Abercrombie and Fitch store because you could like smell it as soon as you walked in the door. But the day I walked into like Marshalls and they had Abercrombie and Fitch for like $25, like the jeans. It's like, damn, what happened to this? What happened to this brand? Sean, only it had to have both straps. One strap would be too. It would be too. I don't even know what the word would be, but it's too much. They'd be they'd be trying too hard. Sean, were you a wrestling guy? The funny thing is, Slay Nation. We did. Amy and I watched that. It's pretty interesting, um, and I love. Doug, how many people actually use LiveScope to compete on the Delta? I wouldn't think there's a ton. I would like to know though. I'd like to try it. I'd like to scope some tapestries, but I don't know. I really don't feel like there's got to be a ton, and if there is, there's probably not very many that are great at it. Honestly, um, got a headache before you left the store. That's pretty much like you want this $100 catalog and a headache with the cologne sample. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good. The documentary on Abercrombie and Fitch is really interesting. It any time that there's like that dude had a which he got blasted for it, but like the dude knew how to market, and it was like really interesting to see how it all developed and like how the brand came to be and everything they did to like market it and make it, you know, blow up. Abercrombie. Yeah, it's really good. Um, Kyle, I've never been out on the water and like scoped freely. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Seems annoying though. Um, Sean, here's an interesting thing. Like growing up, my neighbors were really big into WWF. I'll call it WWF because to me WWE is not like I grew up and wrestling was WWF. So I like saying WWF. So anyway, uh, WWF wrestling I was never big into. Like my neighbors, on the other hand, two brothers, they would get the pay per view, and they're like, "Dude, you got to come over. We're um, we got the SummerSlam, WrestleMania, whatever documentary. I mean, pay per view. Come over and watch it. We're like eating hot dogs and watching this." So I'd go over there, and I didn't really give a shit about it at the time. And we'd watch, wrestling. They'd be all into it, and then of course, like as soon as it was over, like the brawl would start upstairs in like the playroom where everybody's like DDTing each other and jumping off the couches and dropping elbows and shit. And it was, just what kids did, which was pretty fun. Uh, and the parents would come up there because you got some kid in a damn Cobra clutch or some shit, and they're like beating on the wall, going, ah! And the parents come up there and like, what the fuck are y'all doing? But anyway, it wasn't until recently that I started watching. I don't watch wrestling. I watch wrestling clips, like on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and shit. Like I follow like those accounts that just post clips from like old wrestling stuff, and it is wildly entertaining. Like I can see how people get into wrestling because it's incredibly awesome. Jeremy, pretty much. We're just going through a little bit of nostalgia today. WWE headquarters is here in Connecticut. One of my buddies worked for his dad's limo business, drove Cena around a bunch. So that guy loved McDonald's. That's interesting. I wouldn't have seen Cena as a McDonald's guy. Oh, I'm putting a little bit of this ultimate compound on some of these baits. I've wet sanded them with 1200 grit sandpaper. They had a little texture to them because of the heat I was spraying in, and I'm trying to clean up a few of them. Not all of them. Most of them came out fine, but I had like 5 or 6 that need a little attention. So I'm putting a little compound on them, buffing them out. Trying to make them as pretty as I can. There's another cool show that's on. I think it's on YouTube, but it started on A&E, I think, and it's like it's like an American Pickers, but for wrestling stuff. And they get like Mick Foley to go find like one of his old like Mr. Sacco's, and they like they go and buy stuff or try and get stuff for like the museum, the wrestling museum. Um, Pretty cool. That's a good show. Dark Side of the Ring. I have to give that a look. Dad would never let you watch wrestling. He said he can't stand to men fake fight. Uh, Stone Cold's got a podcast. Yeah, this is a Dremel Versa. It's been a lifesaver for me. I put a foam pad on the bottom. It's it has saved me a bunch. I think they're like $50. I really need a higher grit sandpaper, and I don't have it. I need like a 2000 and a 2500 and a 3000. Because this really isn't cutting enough. I need a rubbing compound that's going to cut it a little more. Mid South Wrestling. I think I've seen. I think I've seen that in a documentary somewhere. Kyle says Dark Side of the Ring's good, and he didn't even like wrestling. Oh, the funniest video anybody will ever see. I don't know if y'all have seen it. Please tell me you have. But there's a video that's on. It goes around on Facebook quite a bit. But it's like all these funny. It's like guys doing their little monologues, but they say funny shit. But it's not like funny shit. It's like they say like stuff that could be taken out of context, and I'm pretty sure they were doing it on purpose. But like like the stuff they say is bad, but it's really, really, really funny. Like I remember the one that shows Hulk Hogan. He's like, I'm gonna tweak your knob," and then I don't know. You have to see it, or I just need to post it like on my story one day. Probably not appropriate for a business account to blast out, but it's pretty incredible. Oh, was that on MTV? The Celebrity Deathmatch was no, that was the little claymation people. I can't remember who was on Celebrity Deathmatch. Wasn't Screech on there? Paramount Plus. Ooh, you can rewatch it. Dickie D, did you watch wrestling when you were a kid? Like, oh, it was that is it. Oh, yeah, that was funny. Okay, looking shiny. Have to get a Q-tip. Bully Beatdown. I don't remember Bully Beatdown, which I didn't have. I didn't have cable until I was like way later in life, so it might have been before I had cable. Jeremy, they got a new Beavis and Butthead out. Tyler, I thought it was pretty good. Were you the dude with the alias? Did you see me burning up Hallman's ass about his Chinese reels? Dickie D, I'm trying to get these glides cleaned up. I had a little bit of it was so damn hot. My clear coat wanted to get a little orange peely on me while I was clear coating them, and I couldn't get it under control, so I said, "Screw it, I'll just wet sand them and compound and buff them." And here we are. I'm trying to fix them up, but they're all looking nice. They're certainly sellable. You know what I mean? I could have sold them the way they were, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get them as nice looking as I could. So I won't be sending out any junk. So yeah, try to take some of the. No, that was a good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that little talk with those dudes. That was good. No, it was on Hallman's channel, Jeremy. It's probably still up. I hope he reposted it. Kyle, I would recommend getting one of those little buffers if you need one. They come with a bunch of little attachments too. Not attachments, but different pads, so you can sand. There's like a that one's probably like a 180. And this one's probably like a one. This one might be a 80 grit. And then there's like a 40 grit that's brown. That's really hard to use. But then they come. Oh, here it is. No, that's just I use the foam ones. South Jersey, I do what I can when I have to, man. Like I said, I don't do it. See, Rich, I don't do it all the time, but if it needs it, I will. Yeah, I've never heard of anybody else doing it. But. It's not saying a whole lot though. Dickie D, the resin crank actually ran really good. The only problem is, this may seem stupid. Ooh, Kesseldine just released another video, his Deepwater episode 3. That's really good if y'all haven't watched that. But I was painting that day, and I told my dad. I was like, "Hey, can you stick this belly weight in this bait?" And he was like, "Sure." And he put it in there, and I probably should have told him better directions, but he stuffed it like all the way up in there. And that's, of course, not how I would have done it. I would have let a little bit of it hang out, so it would have looked like a typical balsa bait, to where you have a little bit of the weight hanging out, so it makes that the belly of the bait a little longer looking. Um, and it's like a nicer little transition. But Sean, not really. I don't know. I really don't think a fish is that smart, but sometimes they'll fool you. When you start, when like I can get behind plastic versus wood, sure, like I'm all about that. When you start getting into variances in plastics and like three BBs versus four BBs and like material of the knocker and like all that kind of shit, like you lose me. Uh, I think he's talking about what's that shit called? Butyrate plastic Dicky D. Butyrate. An aftermarket switch that we talked about. I think is out of the question. There would be some case modification, but I think most people would want to do it or be able to do it accurately. Kyle, I don't even remember what the hell that was. Switch? What kind of switch? I mean, does it make a different noise? Sure. Uh, but I don't know. Like I could see it acting different, um, and sounding different, but I don't. Oh, the flipping switch. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I was trying. I was thinking. My brain was like boat switch or like. I was like, what is a switch? Oh, on the Corrados, yeah. Yeah, you couldn't leave it to anybody to like because as soon as somebody fucked up their reel and they'd be like, "Oh, you sent me city directions." Um, no, I don't know. I don't know. At 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 some point, I feel like as far as that shit goes, like you eventually have to like give up. You know what I mean? Like how far down the wormhole do you let yourself go? It starts with butyrate plastic. Then you get into the densities of the material of the BBs. And then you get into where the hook hangers were manufactured. Then you get into how the, you know, all this kind of stuff. What kind of glue was used on the eyes? Like, yeah, I don't know. Kyle, it would be cool though if it did require like, mild modifications and you were like a very detail oriented guy. Uh, and you could have like if you were like a real tech and you could have people in their Corrados and do the mod for them. Like that would be custom. Like I think that's where there's a lot of gray area in the fishing world of what custom is, and like to me that's like really custom, like legit custom. Um, that's like Jesse James custom, like you know. but not everybody has that technology. Like painting stuff is custom, but not to like that level. But that's also the level of custom that doesn't make any sense when you're paying somebody. I mean, I guess it makes sense to certain people, but when you're paying somebody as much as the real cost on an outdated reel technology, when they can go buy like a newer whatever and add it to it, I guess that would be what you would have to do. You'd have to figure it out on like a newer reel to where it would be like somebody could take an existing reel that is out on the market and then like upgrade it, and that way they still have new stuff that they could get parts for or whatever. But I don't know, Kyle. There, of course, there's an ask for every seat, and you would certainly have those guys that would see value in that, and they have plenty of money to uh, play around with, and wouldn't mind dropping 150, $200 to have somebody mod their reel to have a flipping switch, and I think that would be awesome. Um, Finding those guys would maybe not be the easiest thing, but they're out there. That would be doing the work would not be the hard part. It would be finding your market and letting them know you exist. Uh, because typically a guy that would have that kind of money to spend on that, he's not dicking around on Facebook right now. He's probably somewhere making money. So finding that person would be interesting. Uh, I have not seen that bait. Uh, yeah, or they're out using it the way it's supposed to be used. Um, but I think, yeah, I think there's probably a handful of guys out there, more than a handful, that would probably be interested in taking their current, you know, Metanium and putting a flipping switch on it. I think that would be awesome. Um, but like I said, it's probably pretty limited. But that's also not something that you're probably going to want to do a million of anyway. You know what I mean? Like it would be limited in the amount that you could do, and it would probably be limited in the amount that you got to think, dude. Guys are buying reel handles for $200. $200 for a reel handle. I think it'd be more of a value to get $200 to have your reel modded to have a flipping switch on it, more than a handle. But that's just me. Flippers are the poor man fishing in your upper class fishing using glides and swimmers. No, there's plenty of rich flippers out there. Um, the I don't know. I see that a lot. That it's funny that a lot of people, for whatever reason, they take the assumption that I want to say bass fishermen are like broke or poor, but like if you think of a bass fisherman, I feel like the average bass fisherman looks at bass fishermen as not willing to spend money on like nice things. Like I was reading comments in something, and guys were like, "Oh, that'll never work. Nobody will ever buy that." It's like, dude, why do y'all assume because people bass fish that like they're broke? You know what I mean? Like it's not like just because me or I had to explain it to my dad because he was like, how much is that? And I was like, it's $15. It's like $15. I ain't never paid that for them fishing lure. I'm like, well, it's like just because you're a broke dick don't mean the rest of the world is. And that's right, Hall. That's right, Hall. I mean, I don't know why people. I don't. It's not. It's not people. It's just like the general consensus is that like bass fishing is for like poor people. You know what I mean? Like baits should all cost $3 still, and like you know rod combo should be $100, and like it's like, listen, dude. Just because you want to spend $100 on a combo doesn't mean that there's not thousands of other peoples that want like high end stuff. Um, no, for sure, Kyle. That's the other thing. If it will give you an edge, shit, they'll buy whatever it takes. They think they can win on it. Uh, but like I said, I was reading comments and I forget what the post was, but they were it was something about something costing something. Maybe it was like boats or like something to go on boats. Maybe the electronics. I don't remember what it was, but I was reading through all the comments on Facebook, and it was like so many people that were like, "Oh, this is absurd. This is absurd." You know, it might have been about pro fishing or something, but it was all about the money. And I'm like, listen, these dudes don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, they don't play by the same rules as you do. Uh, guys, I can see their trucks the whole time they're fishing. Yeah, that's the other thing. I think it was on Castledines live. They were talking about gas prices and how it affects the like pro fishing. I'm like, dude, if you can afford to fish pro, you can afford the gas. That's just like saying, oh, I'm going offshore snapper fishing. Gas prices really suck. It's going to be a real shame putting my $500,000 boat in the water and running 40 miles out there. It's like, dude, if you can afford a $500,000 boat, then I don't think you know gas prices can really be that bad. Just like if you can buy $100,000 boat, I don't in a damn brand new Duramax or F-250 to pull it with. I don't think gas is really your problem. I think boating will probably decline for normal people that have like normal jobs and don't make a shit ton of money. Sure, I mean that's just money wasted. I mean it's a it's a it's not a necessity to go boating. So uh, if you're Chad Morgenthaler retired because the prices. I feel like I don't know what's hurting him. I guess if you're not making any money, then it does hurt. $6.30 a gallon in Chicago. Doug, if you're dropping off the Elite Series though because of prices of stuff, uh, I don't. That doesn't really add up to me. I don't think you should have been there anyway. Losing his title sponsor, yeah. If he was having to pay out of pocket, shit, I would have jumped ship too. Um, But just to be fishing and saying fishing's getting expensive. Poker run this weekend on the Cumberland. Jeremy, do they still do that? What do you win now in an elite event? I think where the market's going to suffer is going to be the electronics companies. I might be totally off, um, but like previous to now, Kevin Van Dam goes out and wins a tournament, and he said, "Man, my new Humminbird 1197 really showed me these fish on side scan." And people are like, "Shit, dude, I gotta have that." They go out and buy it. A lot of people. I think we're getting to the point now where like Jacob Wheeler says, "Hey, dude, I caught him on my Lowrance, active target. It really saved the day. Go out and buy one." I think 10 years ago, you've got, 30,000 people that go out and they're like, $2,000, fine. 2,500, whatever. I think guys go out now and they look at it and they're like, I got to have this transducer. I got to have all this shit. It's like 5Gs. No, I'm good. I think the conversion is going to start slowly going down and down and down to where guys are just like, I don't need that shit. Um, but if anybody knows anything about professional fishing, like that's not the career path you take if you want to like make money. So, or if you're worried about money, you probably shouldn't fish. Maybe guide. You could do okay like that, but that's guaranteed money. Uh, what's it cost to win nowadays? I don't even know what the entries are now, but it's still the same payout as Dick. That's what Dickie D said. It's the same payout from 2006 as it is now. It's still 100 grand for first place. He said with inflation, it should be 145. But they know they've got everybody by the ball sack. They're not going anywhere anyway. Used boat numbers are very high, yes. But it's the same thing with houses. You know what I mean? Like you could get a ton for your house if you sell it, but where are you going to go live? Same thing for my boat. Like I sell my boat, that's great. Get a bunch for my boat. What do I replace it with? John boat. I just like fishing out of a glass boat. Like I see these guys running around in expresses and like nice aluminum boats. I just like glass. Kyle, all those guys with like boneyards of old trucks sitting behind their houses are like smiling because they're gonna go out there and like clean the carbs and be like, I bought this piece of shit for $500. All it needed was a damn carburetor cleaned. My buddy got live with a 12-inch and two Solix's 12s, got close to 10 grand by the time he got it rigged. That's a lot. 10 G's for electronics. For what? Yamamoto, he wasn't the best turning angler, but he produced one of the most used lures in fishing and sold his company for $180 million. Not bad. Yamamoto, he ain't worried about gas prices. He can't, he don't give a rat's ass. Kyle says, kayaking is the future for us people. I don't know how kayakers sit in those damn things for that long. I wouldn't be able to stand up. The funny thing is, we talk about how this shit is, like boats, electronics. And the funny thing is that all of us normal people are like, man, that's pretty outrageous. But in reality, there's a waiting list of people to buy this shit. Like they can't make enough of them. Dickie D, that seems like a lot of money to me. But considering that BASS sold in the 2000s for 20 million, seems like a lot. Tyler, he sold that ranch in Texas. I don't know where he lives now. I think he lives down maybe in Louisiana. Oh, lumber prices are coming down. That's good. Yamamoto sold to I don't know the name of the company, but they redid the logo, which I thought was really dumb. TH Marine sold for 185 million. Wow, just shows you, man. Like I don't need Tacklecraft to be Yamamoto. I just need to be like 2% of Yamamoto, and I'd be perfectly fine. A company called GSM got Yamamoto, according to Dickie D. GSM Outdoors. Yeah, Yamamoto's ranch he had in Texas that I went and fished. He sold it. I heard Disney bought it. Of all people, I don't know though. That was what I read. I thought that they were going to build something out there. Let's see. Marty, we'll get you a royalty deal. We'll get a big M series production line of baits. Throw you a little coin for each bait sold. And then you can come hang out on my ranch whenever you want to. You get your mailbox money. Everybody's happy. Jay, I don't know, Bodie. I was hearing about Chad Morgenthaler's doing competitive fishing instruction, and Daniel, I got to get the ranch first, but
Yeah, y'all are all invited. It'll be an open door policy. Um, I'll just have a that would be cool to have a tackle craft only like you know how Six Sense does like the little like subscription packs. I could do the subscription thing, but it would be like if you're a subscriber, you can come fish my lake, and you like in the subscription box is like a key to the gate, and you could come and like go fish the ranch pond. That'd be cool. Um, uh, I don't know that competitive fishing needs any more instruction. Uh, oh yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure their angle is to target all the you know well-to-do parents of these high school kids and you know college kids' parents and get them to pay for their competitive fishing instruction because they see the market and the the amount of people in the high school thing, 400 boat tournaments and all this kind of shit. He's trying to, yeah, you got it, Tyler. Um, but I don't know that it's probably, I don't know that any of us would get any benefit from it. Um, but if it were like a real thing, like they would talk maybe like 30 minutes about like actual fishing, and then the rest, the nuts and bolts of the business and marketing and sales and business and all of that shit, because that's what kids really need to learn. Uh, the first day of school needs to be, you want to show of hands, who wants to be a pro angler? Kids raise their hand and say, well, do you know how stupid that is? Let me show you why. Zip, pop, point one. Um, nah, Kyle, it wouldn't be jack shit. It'd be the same price. I just think it'd be cool to have people like you wouldn't want to open it up to the public to where like you got every Tom, Dick, and Harry like coming down there and snatching your fish up on the bank. But if you had a group of like however many people that wanted to like pass through and come fish your place, that'd be cool. That's 185 mil. That's pretty big. That's pretty big chunk of change for TH Marine. Diggy D said a lot of their business was OEM stuff that they were producing for other companies, which I can believe. I don't know though. GSM bought Yamamoto and TH Marine. It was a combo. Kyle says TH Marine is selling for 185 million to One Water Marine Group. Kyle says One Water Marine bought TH Marine. We got all kinds of misinformation out there in the interwebs. Oh. GSM Outdoors, they own Cold Steel Knives, Walker's Game Ear, and Birchwood Casey Shooting Supplies. Very interesting. Wrestling, we have tons of big name coaches and running camps. Yeah, they've got that camp down at Amistad, and they do one up north. What's his name? Kurt Dove does. I feel like they're pretty successful. I don't know. I think there's certainly enough people out there to like make it worth your while. I mean, I don't know how much. I don't know how much how much they charge per kid to go to a camp, but can't be cheap. Can't be cheap. Didn't wasn't that how Bass University kind of started though? Wasn't it like a camp, and then they kind of transferred to like that kind of thing, like a online deal? Did a class day with Jamie Hartman. I got something out of it. Enjoyed it. Yeah, Dickie D. I feel like there was too much brand recognition with that old logo to get rid of it. It didn't. It wasn't like out of date. Like there was nothing wrong with it. It would be like somebody buying Zoom and redoing Zoom's logo. Like when your whole I don't know. School, Bass School. I think you probably get way more info out of one of these classes from a guy on the water or in a classroom or whatever when there's not a camera on them. So if you probably want better info, in person would probably be the way to go, because you know as soon as they put a camera on somebody, you're not getting everything. Wrestling summer camps for a week are $450 for a camp in the summer. That seems good. I mean, it's I mean, if you did, how many of those could you do? Like, I don't want to do the numbers right now, but I mean, if you did, could you do? I mean, how many would you need to do to make it worth your while? How many kids? If you could do 50, you could have 50 kids at a camp per week, and you could maybe do, if you could do 4 camps in a summer and have 200 kids, that'd be like almost, what, 100 and something grand, 200 grand? Bassmaster University, that's what it was. Yeah, I thought somebody did like a teaching thing back in the day. Travel basketball camps are $800 for a 10-day. Most kids do 3 per summer. Average attendance of 125 to 100 kids. It's pretty impressive. But fishing, I'm assuming they're going to have to take these kids fishing, right? Like in a boat. So if you've got 125 kids, say 100 kids, you're going to probably need 50 boats. I don't know. I don't know how easy or hard that is. I'm sure they could like get bass clubs to do it. Denny, Mike Ike, Don Iovino. Man, I bet that was awesome. Yeah, you got. That's what I was thinking. 2 kids per boat. You got 50 boats. You could take out 100 kids. You think there's 200 parents in the U.S. that want to sign their kids up for an $800 10-day fishing camp right now? I say yes. I say people pay $800 just to get their kids out of their hair for 10 days. Honestly. So maybe Morgan Thaler's not so dumb. Maybe he's like, hell, maybe I can actually work half as hard and make twice as much money. Maybe he's no fool. Dickie D said he could get 100 in Florida, he bets. Not him personally, but you could get 100 in Florida. I think the move from Morgan Thaler is he needs to set up these camps across the country and then suckle from each camp his little piece of the pie. Then he's making money. You got a Florida camp, you got an Alabama camp, you got a Texas camp, you got a Louisiana camp, you got a Georgia camp, Tennessee camp, and you got all of them with like 200 kids at this camp. And he's getting his cut. Now we're making money. Now we're making money. And he's not doing shit. I mean, he is, but he's not. He's not like, running around traveling all over the country being a damn Elite Series pro. Daniel, they're not teaching shit. They're teaching the same thing that everybody else teaches, but they're teaching everything that's already out there on the internet. They're just bundling it up in a nice little package with bullet points and presenting it in a easy to understand fashion. Kyle, I think it would, because the one thing pros know how to do is get shit for free. So you could probably get the food supplied. You could probably get all the fishing shit supplied. You could probably get everything necessary for the camp sponsored. That's what those guys are good at. So, or some of them are. That's what they should be good at if they go into that line of work. So, yeah, you get Missile, you get anybody. Because the other thing, here's another little marketing thing for you gentlemen. So anybody in the right mind who's looking at this high school camp knows that most of these anglers will grow up and continue to fish. And if they have used your product from a young age, that they will continue to use their product throughout their life. So you've got them. I saw this firsthand with a company called Gillette. Gillette on my 13th birthday sent me a razor to shave with, Gillette Sensor XL. And aging disease. Gillette sent me a razor on my 13th birthday. Said, happy 13th birthday. Get a shave on us or some shit. And I was like, wow. So like my parents didn't give me a razor. Like Gillette gave me a razor to start shaving with. So I shaved my little crusty ass, mustache off. Guess what razors I still buy 20 years later? Gillette. Same thing. Missile Bait sponsors the high school tournament. Kids pick up the Missile Baits. They really like them. They go out with, whoever, catch some fish on them. They're like, man, Missile Baits. They're going to be having the same conversation 30 years later going, man, I'll tell you what I like throwing. I like throwing that Missile Baits worm they used to use, that damn destroyer. That thing catch shit out of fish. I still got some of them, but it's the same concept. Get them early and hook for life. Or do a seminar type. There's an adder for a select group with added cost for 3-day water lesson on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah, that'd be cool. I think there's a lot of ways you could manipulate that. I think insurance would probably be your biggest hurdle, or it wouldn't be a hurdle, but it would be costly. But I think the other X's and O's would just be a little bit of a time suck. Dickie D, you are certainly right about that. These kids have been conditioned to stick their hands out, he says, and I can certainly say that even from my small footprint in the fishing world, they are not scared to send me a message and tell me how much they love my ribbon tail worms, or what they always say. Like, the kids are so stupid, dude. They take like a generic message that they send to like every bait company, but they send it like they don't even look at what you make. Like, I've had so many kids be like, this is before I ever had a swim jig. All I did was paint baits and sell baits, like hard baits. I had so many kids say, dude, we love, or I love your jigs. I flip them all the time and I catch hogs on them. I slay on your jigs. We love them. We would love for you to sponsor us. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bro, I don't make a jig. Like, I know you just sent that to 300 other companies while you were in like first period, like doing nothing, but come on, bro. Like, at least look at my page. Jay, it is the same concept for dope dealers. Yes. South Jersey, I would 100% say that is probably not getting taught. Got a hangnail, hurts. If 5 razors showed up on your door on your 13th birthday, which one would you buy? I don't know. I guess I'd have to sample them. I know a high school kid that gets 70% off from P-Line just because he's in the high school fishing team. Pretty impressive. Well, we figured out who GSM is. They own several industry-leading brands, including Stealth Cam, Walkers, Muddy, Hawk, Big Game, Birchwood, Casey, Cold Steel, True Glow, SME, TechMat, GPS Bags, Crossfire, HME, and Skull Hooker. Viking Solutions, Hunter Specialties, Western Rivers, Cyclops, Boss Bug, American Hunter, and NAP. That's a lot. Kyle, you have to tell me you have to tell Marty you love his buzz baits he makes. Please sponsor me. Marty, you make the best spinner baits in the world. Sponsor me. I'll be interested to see what Morgan Thaler does on this school. I keep waiting for 6 cents to get sold. I don't think Casey's adding all these products every other month, that he's adding like 10 new products because he feels like it. But I could be wrong. I think he's building towards something. Like every day that goes by that he still owns it, I'm like, really? If it were me, I'd be gone. I would be gone. I guess he's probably got a number that he wants. Daniel, I don't know about I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have their little. I'm sure they're keeping their little factory out in Arizona or wherever. I don't know. TK, you make the best shirts and hats I've ever worn. Let me get a swim bait. TK, you make the best shirts and hats. Please sponsor me for your soft plastics you make. Those kids amaze me. They were keeping it in Arizona. Jay, is your dad still using a Mach 3? Or are you influenced by Gillette? Are you still using Gillette razors? Man, what a tangled little web the fishing world is. I was actually thinking how lame it is, like for the bigger companies. Dickie D, thanks, dude. Travis Stearman got the free Gillette razor as well. Dude, I think it's Travis. You still use Gillette? See, there you go, Jay. Old Gillette, and here we are. They're getting talked about 25 years later. Travis Stearman still using Gillette. Pretty damn smart. Any new baits I've seen that have caught my eye? Not really. I used a new bait that caught my eye. And the only reason I bought it was because it was $2. It's the Popping Pad Crasher. I got it on sale at Academy, and I changed out the hook. Pretty good frog. Very happy with this frog. I don't typically care for popping frogs that much, but it does the job. It does the job. Seems to be pretty durable. I'm a happy customer. Oh, speaking of razors, I've always heard that it's not your stubble or your skin that dull them. It's the water. Kyle, you're an engineer. Is that true? Then when you leave your when you leave your thing wet, your razor wet, that it dulls it over time. Kyle, that I've always heard about razors that that your stubble and your face are not what dulls the razor. It's the water when you wash it off and you leave them wet. That's what degrades your razor over time, the sharpness. a good point, Kyle. I don't know that I've ever heard the mineral buildup stays there. That's the most dulling. Yeah. There you go. Daniel, don't do it. Don't do it. And don't let anybody convince you otherwise. Travis, you got him blacklisted. Travis, send them to me too. I want to see what they were. I want to see this stash. Damn, dude, this guy's got some sort of epoxy in these baits that is like rocks. 10 foot and deeper. I have two. This is a 765 Powell CB, moderate fast, medium heavy action. You can't really see it, but it feels really heavy. But it flexes down to about here, but you still got a lot of backbone, but the flex is from here. Oh, I can't see it, but it's got a lot of backbone. But if I'm getting anything deeper, like the 20 footers, the 806 discontinued Powell, 806 CB. It's like you're not even throwing them. But that 806 has been discontinued for quite some time. I don't know. I don't have any of the other Powells. I only use the old Maxes. I haven't bought any of the other ones, the newer editions. So all my rods are from like 2008. And I still prefer them. So. They're all at home, Kyle. I don't have any. I don't crank that deep anymore. And if I go anywhere where I might, I'll just grab those, hit the road. But I don't know. I use those reels on something else. Kistler's 711 medium heavy feel and reel is awesome for cranking. Is that straight graphite, Josh? Oh, my damn rag. I never used one of those, but I feel like I could maybe get behind that, where it's got the tip that's glass. I don't know. Does anybody use the new KVD cranking rod? I guess it is that a Lew's rod? Fury 795 works great. Looks like a Berkeley lightning rod. I say screw it. Get a lightning rod. The KVD, the new KVD rods are tip heavy. Okuma Stratus 6 rod is a composite rod that works great for smaller cranks and a price that is unbeatable. Interesting. Like I said, I'm not the guy for like, I know what I like, but I don't know what's comparable in recent up-to-date markets for what I like to throw. Like I know what I would recommend in a archaic Powell lineup. But as far as that, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what's comparable in other companies' stuff now. But same with reels. I just use E7s. And big game. So I'm a loser. I can't tell you. I'm not going to blow smoke up all of your asses and tell you what new fancy line to get that's better than anything else, because I'm just going to tell you to go buy old rods and reels and big game. Sorry. Josh knows the 805. That's a you didn't see a lot of the 8-foot Powells floating around a lot. The 806 CB, that is my favorite deep cranking rod. That thing, it will whip a damn, like 6XD will feel like a damn Bandit 200 on that rod. It's good, but the weird thing about it is, like, when you crank and reel with it, it doesn't hardly bend at all. But the flex on a fish, like when you set the hook on a fish, like the rod turns into a different rod, and you've got like way more parabolic bend in it. It was a very interesting, but like when you're reeling a big plug, it's not like you don't have some like big hook in your rod like the damn old Fritz noodles. Oh, the action and the taper. Yeah. I still throw with like I don't like anything noodly or I like that 765. It's like a little softer than what like a medium heavy would be, but not much. Like if you've got like, I'm trying to think something that's equivalent to it. I mean, you could almost, it's like, I guess everybody's different on what they use. You know what I mean? So like what I would pitch a worm on and what other people would pitch a worm or a jig on would be completely different. But like I could probably take that 765 CB and throw like a Texas rig worm on it, no problem. but it's got a little more flex than you would need, but it's not enough that you couldn't like set the hook on it. We'll see how many guides it bends. Where'd it go? I guess you can. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's got 11. 1, 2, 3. The first few guides don't even move hardly. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It starts bending at the 5th guide. So from 1, 2, 3, 4. So from here up, that's like 70-30, I would say. 70-30. And I used to hate cranking on a split grip, but I just got used to it. I would prefer a solid grip. Ooh. That's right, Josh. He's figured it out. Yeah, if you can't burn a crankbait in without your damn rod folding over in half, you don't want it. All right, dudes. Damn, it's 2 o'clock. All right, I gotta get these baits put together and stuff in the mail. If you need t-shirts, they're on the website, all sizes, and I'll get those sent out this week. But anyway, I'm about to blast those out and try and get some stuff moved. But Travis, yeah, I like cranking on graphite. I tried to go like a fool to cranking on glass. I was young and dumb, just spending money on new stuff. But anyway, Daniel, Travis, Kyle, Jay, other Kyle, Josh, y'all be good. South Jersey, Jeremy, we'll do it again. Good talking to y'all. Catch you later. Later, YouTubes. See you later, Jay. Damn, that was almost a 3-hour sesh. Kyle, adios.